it takes a sort of collective acknowledgement of like, oh yes, like things are real now. Like we need to work together. We need to face the reality that we're in, so that it becomes easier and safer to do that. Um, and if we're going to do it as individuals, that I think that playfulness can be a very important tool, right? Because if we are sort of just holding in ourselves, like, trying to make sense of what really is a very scary landscape of, things that could potentially happen in our future, all of the things that could go wrong, right? It's not just, climate change, right? There's many potential catastrophes that could happen. And it really takes a huge toll on us individually, versus, if you can be playful. So I use examples of like engaging with apocalyptic fiction, watching zombie movies, sort of doing these things that like kind of open up our minds to just, considering scenarios that are not, um, uh, happy, wonderful scenarios, but with a sense of like, um, play and exploration and, a little of what, I and other people call survival porn, right? It's like, oh, could I survive in this situation? Um, then, all of a sudden you're like leveraging your brain, for sort of like simulating potential future scenarios. And if you do that with other people, so, you don't have to say, oh, now we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about what a potential future might be if things, if we don't do anything about climate change. Like, nobody wants to do that, right? I mean, maybe some people do, but like, really, that's not fun. But if you're like, well, let's imagine a future where this and this and this and this, and then we have to survive with only these things. Like, could we do it? Like, with the four of us? Like, could we, like that becomes an exercise, that like is can be very creative, can be fun, really engaging, and it just like opens up our minds in a way that like they're closed if we just are in that place of like dealing directly, with the threats. Like, that can really kind of close us down rather than opening us up both to exploring various possibilities ourselves and then exploring them with others too.